What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. I'm here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gablim, and the Prophet, Mr. Mawiap. What's up dun sa mga
Oh, ginamit
almost
na ni Sammy yung
100?
The Prophet.
Almost 100 na nakikinig sa atin na ngayon.
Naniniwala na siya.
Naniniwala na ako, papag-usapan natin yan mamaya. And congrats to the DLSU Green Archers for winning Game 3 of UAAP Season 88 Finals. Congrats sa mga Lasalista dyan. Champions ulit kayo. Gab, Maui, you guys were there. Kamusta naman?
Wait, I want to do it first. UP is not back to back. I'm sorry if I cursed you. At dahil dyan, inom tayo mga payups. Mga isko,
This is not
iska.
sponsored, by the way.
It's not sponsored. I did this when Ateneo lost. I'm doing it now that my pick, the UP Fighting Maroons lost. Cheers tayo, pare. Cheers tayo, mga chong. Cheers.
Okay. At habang umiinom dyan si Gab, dun naman sa mga, para sa UP fans, para naman dun sa mga Lassal fans dyan, alam niyo naman mga mga Atenista kami. So, pagbigyan nyo naman kami at suportahan nyo naman yung channel namin by buying UAAP Championship shirts from
Shout out to
Varsity
Kirk!
Lifestyle Co. Shout out naman dyan kay Kirk.
Yes! Of course, this whole season of Boleros has been sponsored by our friends from Varsity Lifestyle Co. Thank you, Kirk. We love you. And what better way to celebrate the championship, the end of your season, than by buying a championship shirt from Varsity Lifestyle Co. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that golden champions on top of that shirt. Look at all the jersey numbers at the back. I think super sulit yan. At syempre, talking about super sulit, mas sulit pa if you get 10% off your order by using the code Boleros upon checkout. The Varsity Lifestyle Co. online shop is in our description down below. Just click, add to cart, enter our code Boleros, and you'll be getting yours. Bought the shirt but did not put your code. Oh, come on.
Come on.
Bili ka ulit.
Cancel
Bili ka
mo,
ulit.
cancel mo.
Oh,
Sayang yung
cancel mo yan.
10%.
Ulit.
Bili ka ulit. Bili ka ulit. But yeah, you will be helping Varsity Lifestyle Co. out, and you'll be helping us out. We do get a small percentage of the sales if you use our code. So use our code. 10% off. Lasal yan. Lasal. Mga Lasalians. Champion kayo. Let's go.
Balatan nyo sa amin.
Oo nga. And kung gusto nyo samahan yung fit nyo ng aming Boleros caps, we are still on sale. I think a lot bought after the first two games of the finals. Yung tama ba sa amin? You met a couple of Bolero subscribers. So for the Lassal fans dyan, ng mga nakikinig at nag-celebrate ng championship ngayon, celebrate nyo na with Bolero. I do remember someone in our
Eto
previous
na, Gab.
live stream.
Pakicheck. Asan yung
Ayan
sa
na.
listang bibili ng 15 Boleros Cup? Shout out naman doon.
Hindi na kayo makakalimutan yan. Yung sino yung 15...
Aabangan ka namin.
Oh, yung 15? Yung nag-top up ng 10 ng isang UP fan? Come on, man. 15. Let's go. Let's go. So, the link is in the description below, and also will be pinned as a comment. And so, if you wanna give yourselves a Boleros cap for Christmas, especially sa mga Lasalians dyan, or maybe kung Lasalians kayo at gusto nyo yung regaluhan, yung mga UP fans yun na malungkot ngayon, yung mga UP family members yun na malungkot ngayon, bilhin na kayo ng Boleros cap.
Okay, I'm loving the comment section. Meron na si Martin nag-comment na attendance check, everyone present.
Present.
Shout out to
Present.
Zave. Shout out to
Zave Lucero, where you at, bro?
Sige. I think ang dami na nagko-comment. I think there is a lot to unpack
Thank you.
sa championship game na to. Sa game 3 na to. Lots to talk about on both sides, UP and Lassal. I do want to hear first thoughts and reactions from the Prophet, Mr. Mawiap, who 100% jinxed the entire UAAP finals. Remember, guys, he wore maroon game 1 before game 1. Sabi niya, to curse, to jinx the Maroons, wore green before game 2 to jinx Lassal, and then wore maroon again before game 3 to jinx UP. So the prophet, nagkatotoo yung mga
Galing.
jinx mo, yung powers mo gumana. How was game 3 like? Ano yung mga reactions mo watching the game live in Araneta?
Akalain mo, di ba? Nagkatotoo nga kung ano yung suot yung nangyari. Who would have known? But first shout out to Justin and Joel. I think si Justin was the one wearing the Mason Amos Ateneo blue jersey shirt
Love it.
from
Love the
Love the
DETHRONE.
trolling.
troll.
Love the
Love the
trolling. I love it.
Shout out to Carla and Cara also. Thank you Tito Manny for the ticket. I was able to fortunately hindi ako nag-musical chairs sa finals kanina because I was able to get tickets. Crazy. I think ito yung comment na to is what really shows. 24,000 on a Wednesday. I think I told Gab pretty early on, kahit bakante marami sa upper box area, you can see pa lang from the standing room how packed it was gonna be, the finals, the game 3, the end of the trilogy. Crazy. I think one of the things that I felt was nainggit ako as an Ateneo fan. I told this to Gab, nainggit ako as an Ateneo fan. When will I experience this again?
Not
in the
gonna
finals?
lie, Maui,
20
ako rin. Not gonna lie. Totoo naman yan.
20,000 plus, di ba? I think Araneta is really, for me, in my opinion, the best stadium for the UAAP. I think I've said this in the past. Based on my experience in the early 2000s, 2010s, still the best sa 2020s. I think 24,000 showing out today. Watching the game live, that was one of the craziest crowds I've seen in my life. I wasn't able to watch. I think the record is 25,000 NU versus FEU finals, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the most I've seen. Araneta, I think this can be comparable to the early 2000s. Yung time nila Ryan Buenafe when it was like para nag-earthquake pag on crucial parts during the game. I love how both schools showed out. I think UP mas maraming UP today than game 2, and I think it's because they felt nung game 2 talo sila. On a Wednesday, 24,000 went to Araneta. The feeling the whole game was just electric. Grabe, when there were crucial baskets, when there were dunks from Nuruka, from Abadam, and those very long three-pointers by Remogat, Jacob Cortez to open the game. Grabe yung reaction ng crowd, and this is why we watch the UAAP. This is why we watch basketball. As a basketball fan, I couldn't have asked for more getting this experience live nonetheless. Ang sarap maging UAAP fan when you can see this type of atmosphere. I just can't imagine paano pa yung feeling ng players a while ago. This is why you want to go to a winning UAAP program. Players like Mason Amos, who will probably talk about later, go to a winning program because the finals, game 3 is just on another level. And I just hope I experience more, so much more, and hopefully Ateneo naman in the future. But I would say the experience of a UAAP game 3 is not unlike none other. Even Gilas games, it's uncomparable. And this is coming from a person na walang manok in the finals. Diba? I did not root for UP and Lassal, even if I predicted Lassal to win the championship. Kakaiba yung feeling. I think si Gab would also say the same.
Gab.
Agree. I think you asked for the initial reaction. So, Sam, unlike in previous episodes, yung I won't describe the game first. But yeah, as Maui said, ang ganda ng atmosphere. Marami siguro nag-sick leave, nag-vacation leave on a Wednesday because the arena was packed. So, taas kamay kasi yung mga nag-sick leave at BL dyan. Or nag-cut ng class. Shout out sa inyo. Umamin na kayo. But electric atmosphere. I was, as usual, I try to position myself in the border of the UP and Lasalle crowds because ganun na yung hatian eh. sa half-court line na yung hatian. So you can't position yourself between. I love the trash talking yung that was going on, the boos, the where are the calls questions when people would raise their hand at every foul call yung that was happening. I love it. I love the intensity, and by all means, the game delivered. The game definitely delivered. This was a great game. And I think both teams yung nakikinig sa Boleros, because we did say na we would like less one-on-one isolation basketball. Diba? Yun sabi ko nung end ng ating last episode, that I think if both teams actually run a system and get more ball movement involved rather than straight up isolating each player, they would be better off. And I think you saw that with the DLSU Green Archers. They ran more plays, less isolations, less ball in Jacob Cortez's hands, and just straight up yung pick and roll or dribble handoff. There's more system, more attacking weak spots in the zone, more ball movement. UP, it was like that in the start, but at the end, I think they defaulted to too much one-on-one basketball. It's weird. This is not how Coach Gold plays.
Yun ang pumatay.
Yeah. I think the individuality of the UP Fighting Maroons did them in. They were trying to look for hero shots. They were trying to look for one-on-one plays. They were trying to beat the man themselves. They were trying to go for the home run plays over and over again, and not trying to run through a system that has proven to work. I get into that more later, but the game delivered. I mean, it was a 1-point game at the end of the half, and both teams were deadlocked in the third quarter. It was still a 1-point game in favor of UP. Everyone was just contributing, and I love the intensity. I just love it. This is what the UAAP is all about. I was happy to be there. I was happy that finally napunta sa Araneta. I think someone yung had a comment here. Iba talaga pang sa Araneta Coliseum. Iba talaga. The vibe is different. The acoustics are different, diba? The acoustics are different in the Araneta Coliseum. Crowds are face to face. You could hear everything. If you're from the general admission down to the patron, you can hear everything. It's amazing. It's amazing, and I'm glad to have witnessed this. Sammy. And shout out also to some Bolero subscribers that I met during my time there in Cubao. Christine, Pau, Manny, who used to, I think, to write for the DLSU Green Archers. I think the Green Arrows, they called themselves. And I think Dennis and Carlo. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for recognizing me as Gab, because there was one person who recognized me as Maui. I don't know if we're similar, pero I take it yung as a compliment. Yung pogi naman si Maui.
Yun. I think yung maganda dito is we got the game that we wanted, diba? Ayaw natin ng tambakan. We wanted a really exciting game. I think it was a close game. UP led by as much as like 8 or 9 points at one point. Lassal came storming back. Even yung fourth quarter, the last few minutes, I think if you were
it was Lassal who led by 9.
Sorry. Lassal led by...
UP led by as much as 5. And we'll get to that. Sige.
Lassal led by as much as 8 or 9. UP came storming back, and then Lassal came back. So, I think we got, whether you're a UP fan, a Lassal fan, or just someone who just wanted to watch the finals, we got the game that really, really wanted. Siguro, let's go through some of the siguro key highlights or moments on the game. Saan nyo gusto mag-start? Like, you want to start talking about the finals MVP, Mike Phillips, who just went crazy in the first quarter. Gab, ano nangyari doon? Like, we talked about how Mike Phillips was really good in the first 2 games without even scoring. Yung impact niya on the rebounding, yung hustle, yung defense. But ito yung scoring Mike Phillips game. He scored 25 points, grabbed 18 rebounds. What happened there?
I'll get to that. I just want to comment na I love the flow of the game in the first quarters, most especially in the first quarter. Kasi halos walang delay. You know, there were no reviews. There wasn't much fouls called, just back and forth basket. Yeah, a bit sloppy. There were some turnovers from both teams. But good defense, I think, that caused the turnovers. But yeah, I wish more quarters were just like this. Because if you even in the second, there were more calls, but there weren't much reviews, there weren't much stoppages. Ang ganda. Just
I think
hindi
kinoment
po-
nyo na natapos agad, di ba? Parang ang bilis natapos
Yeah,
ng first quarter.
sakto at 4 o'clock. I think the game started at 3:35. At 4 o'clock, the first quarter had ended. I think Maui, we had the same impression. Ang ganda ng flow ng first quarter. Back and forth.
Hindi
tuloy-tuloy.
ako makapaniwala. Nung nakita ko yung
Yeah.
time, uy.
Diba? So it makes me wonder, why can't they do this more often? But because in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, Review Central came back. I'll get to that later, but it seems like whenever a coach complains, they would review. Whenever someone falls down, they would review. Like Luis Pablo fell down, and I think he used it as an opportunity to sub himself out for a better shooter in Mason Amos. We're not gonna lie, he definitely did. I saw him on the bench.
For sure.
He was just acting up. He was just couldn't stand up. As soon as
Best
he went back on
actor.
the bench, best actor,
Best
Luis
actor
Pablo. And I
award.
think Mike Phillips gave him instructions. Stay down.
Yeah.
We're putting in Mason for you. Fairness. That was a good strategy. You Mason made both things. But yeah, again,
Momentum
I
changing
hate
yun.
reviews.
That's when the momentum change.
Yeah, I hate the reviews, but it is what it is. I just wish that there were more quarters, just like the first quarter and even the second quarter. But yeah, to start this game, Sammy, I'm glad you shouted out Mike Phillips. He dominated. Yeah, he got blocked by Nuruka. I think Nuruka had a big block on him. He got dunked on yung by Nuruka, but he dominated this game. And that's where I want to start, because it was clear that Coach Topek's adjustment from game 2 was to involve Mike Phillips more in the middle of the paint. They couldn't crack the zone that much in game 2. They totally dismantled that zone here in game number 3. Ang galing. I think, and for all the Coach Gold is much better than Coach Topek's argument that we always hear, it's a different level than Coach Topek's. Coach Topek's cannot coach. Coach Topek's totally outcoached Coach Gold in this game. I do have to admit that. Coach Topek's pulled out so many adjustments from game 2. UP felt like they didn't adjust anything. They had the same defense. They had the same rotation. They had the same offense. Everything was the same. Lassal, nearly everything was different, especially in that first half. Jacob Cortez, they put Jacob Baila early on him. Jacob Cortez was not even involved. Was not even involved at all. He was just at the corners. He was always just, go ahead, run without me. The way they answered that UP zone, they actually went to Mason Amos. They put Mason Amos in the post, which is his strength. Ever since his Ateneo days, he's always been a good post player. And in our interview with Mason, he's always said that he was trained as a post guy in Australia. That's his strength.
Mm-hmm,
And they went to him, and what Lassal would do is that when someone from the inside would guard Mason Amos in the post, which means there was only one or two guys in the middle of that zone, they would do a pin down for Mike Phillips. I think they went with 3 bigs, si Pablo and si Mason and si Mike Phillips at the same time. So they would post up Mason, si Luis Pablo would pin down whoever was guarding Mike Phillips. When Mike Phillips would catch it in the middle of the paint, was either he was open or he was just one-on-one with Noruka or Stevens. They were just feeding Mike in the middle of the paint. Because if you're a person you growing up learning how to play basketball, you watch this finals, both UP and Lassal were breaking down the zone exactly as you were taught how to break it. Either shoot well from the outside or target the middle. You rotate, you target the middle. Lassal was doing that more, and they were successful. Mike Phillips, I think, had 16 points at the end. 12 points at the end of the first quarter, and then 18 points at the end of the first half. He was dominating. Freaking dominating. Kung sino man yung matchup niya, it was either si Gani or si Francis Noruka, no match. His hook shot, his floaters were all going in. Siguro tinuruan siya ng mabilisan ni Raven Cortez, ni Raven Gonzalez, and he learned. Remember si Raven would always have that mini hook shot, yung those mini floaters in the middle of the paint. He was just on. And yeah, actually yun yung Lassal game plan ng first quarter. They weren't running things through Jacob. Very different from game 2. As I said, the adjustments were all on Lassal. Coach Topex adjusted his offense to answer how UP was defending them in game 2. UP was trapping and not switching si Jacob Cortez throughout game 2, trying to make it harder for him to create offense. In this game, he just used Jacob as a decoy. For the most part, walang ginagawa si Jacob na first half. If I were to make a comparison, if you all remember Slam Dunk and read the manga, this is what si Rukawa did in, I think, one of their inter-high or nationals game. He just chilled in the first half, and so second half siya yung kumayod. Same thing here. First half, walang ginagawa si Jacob. For UP, I have to give a shout out to Francis Noruka. Once again, in the first half, galing ni Francis. Beast. Yung crashing the offensive glass, even put in 2 fadeaways. I'm like, what? He has this in his bag. What the hell? May fadeaways na siya. So, I think he had that also in game 2, but now he had 2 of them. Incredible. And Noy Remogat. I think Noy Remogat came to play. Now we will talk about how he choked. There's no sugarcoating it. He choked in the last 2 minutes of game. I think he had that 4-point play. He didn't convert on the free throw and then turned it over so many times. I think he had a cross-court pass to Noruko. It was intercepted. He turned it over. It was reviewed. It was Lassal ball. He got blocked by Phillips. But I am going to be consistent. I think in season 85, when Lassal lost to Adamson in the playoff for 4th, a lot of Lasalians were blaming si Evan Nele because he choked in the endgame. Pero ang argument ko palagi doon, they wouldn't have been in that position to almost win the game if not for Evan Nele having a spectacular game. It's the same thing. Remogat was spectacular. Mm-hmm. I loved how Noy Remogat played in this game. The endgame will overshadow everything that he did, but UP would not have been in that position to almost pull out this win if not for Noy Remogat. He was hitting threes, he was coming off curls, he was beating guys off the dribble and hitting baskets off the glass, he was hitting fast break layups. Remogat was great, and UP was also breaking down Lasal's own zone. They were also targeting si Mason Amos on the defensive end and matchup hunting. Overall, ang ganda. Third quarter, I think I told you, si Jacob Cortez mas naging aggressive. Clearly, that was the switch in the game plan. Okay, now we're involving Jacob. Diba? Naghintay. Yung nag-chill lang siya nung first half, and then on the second half, now he was getting the ball more. They were running plays through him. So definitely a curveball thrown by Coach Topex Robinson. They went less to Phillips. But UP again clawing their way back, and si Harold Alarcon had a brief stretch. I think hit 2 fadeaways from the top of the key and then one on the baseline. But the key stretch for me was when Remogat hit a 4-point shot, long distance 3 to extend the lead to 57-52. I think that was UP's biggest lead of the game, and momentum was on their side. And then on the next dead ball, Coach Gold subs out Alarcon and Remogat. The guys who had just given you the lead, you sub them out. And I get it. Maybe they needed the rest. Pero I thought they should have kept them in the game. I don't know. Maybe others have a different opinion. Maybe the two of you have a different opinion. Pero bakit mo tinanggal the 2 guys who are hot and scoring in that third quarter run? Why did you take them out? And then to top things off, why did Coach Gold go back to the 3-2 zone, which Lassal was breaking down in the first half, Why did they go back to that? So it was 57-52. We got a Mike Phillips floater, and then we got a Luis Pablo layup over Sean Alter off of that zone that Lassal was repeatedly breaking down in the first half. That baffled me. That decision baffled me. I thought they were already doing great. Yeah, I thought they were already doing great, Maui, yung mag-man-to-man. Ang galing nila pag man-to-man eh. Ang galing nung pressure defense nila and the help side defense when they're playing man-to-man. But they went zone again. That killed them in the first half. I don't get it from UP side. On yung in the fourth quarter.
I think dun sa moment na yun na you're talking about, yun din yung time na pinasok si Torres, no? And then I think he had like 2 turnovers. So he had to bring back Alarcon or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Yeah. And I believe turnovers did them in also in this game. UP, I think they had 16. Tama ba? 16 turnovers. So a lot of it were on miscues in the fast break, and that's one of the reasons why they got points in the first half, kasi they were capitalizing on poor transition defense from the DLSU Green Archers. I think Mike Phillips' 2 fouls in the first half came off of fast breaks. Diba? So, kind of a poison pill. UP was trying to run. I think they threw the ball away a couple of times just trying to run. But yeah, it's ironic that in the fourth quarter, Lassal won by hitting free throws. Their biggest weakness, their Achilles heel.
Weakness all season long.
Diba? And they won by hitting their free throws. Mason hit 4, I think. Si Kian Baklaan hit 4 din ata. 4 din. Si Mike Phillips, I think. Si Mike Phillips hit one off the glass. I'm like, Chamba, but it went in. Yeah. So, and I think all of the Lasallians in my section were like smiling, parang Chamba yun. Pero sige, we'll take it. We'll take it. But yeah, he missed one. Si Boris yung missed 2.
Jacob Cortez missed 1.
Si Jacob Cortez yung missed 1. Speaking of Boris, big plays. I think, once again, you got the full Boris Manasigan experience for Lassal fans. I think he turned it over a couple of times in the first half and in the third quarter. You know, when he would go one-on-one, tas maiiwan niya yung bola, or it would get stolen away from him. But big plays. I think he gave Lassal the lead with a baseline jumper. Diba? It was off a ball rotation. He shot fake. I think si Noruka. And then hit the baseline jumper, which got the shooter's bounce. And got the 3-point play on Scary Jerry. Incredible. He fouled out.
No fear, Boris.
Yep. He fouled out. Eventually, I think after that, but Lassal would not have this championship if not for Boris Marasigan. I think he's one of the unsung heroes in this game. See, Mike Phillips definitely dominated. I mean, how you 25 and 18, but Boris delivered in the biggest moments. You loved him at that point. There were some points in the game you might have hated him, but you gotta love him. And if he ever just tightens his handle a little bit more, he's going to be a beast. He's going to be a problem. Once he tightens that handle, gets better dribbling skills, I do believe we have a star on our hands in Boris Manasigan. And that's a big if. Yun lang. UP just could not execute. After that, Noiremo got 4-point play. I don't understand it. Why they would default to one-on-one. Why they would just go away from the offense that had been working. And actually, they were getting some open shots. Luckily, I think si Alarcon got a corner 3 open shot when Remogat got blocked by Mike Phillips. So, di na po talaga pumapasok. And speaking of Harold Alarcon, may bago na nickname for Harold. I think he loves to cut class because I think he's absent Alarcon. Because once again, he was absent.
Grabe.
What the hell was this?
Strays.
Hindi, Sammy, you expect more. I think I speak for all UP fans and UAAP fans. You expect more from Harold Alarcon
Last
at
game
this point.
Of his UAAP career.
Exactly.
To win the championship. Gotta step up.
Game Game 3 in fifth season, you should have contributed more. It's so concerning to me that he's only effective when he has the ball in his hands. I mean, he can't do anything offensively when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Like, what? Absent Alarcon. That's him. I still think he's pretty good, but he just disappears. And he disappeared completely. And not completely, but, what did he have? 6 points, 2 out of 9 shooting, 0-4 from 3, 2 out of 4 from the free throw line. Wala. I don't get it from Harold. Noiremo got choked in the Endgame, but Alarcon choked for the whole game. Yun lang masabi ko. Disappointing.
Ayan, sabi nung isang comment, sabi ni Mark, Remogat wanted to win, Maroon 5 didn't.
Oh, hindi na yung Maroon 5. It's just the Maroon 4 plus 1. Si Felicilde yung plus 1. Kasi he just went in for the ride.
Grabe. Catching strays over here. Maui, ikaw naman.
Oh my God. Grabe si Gab kay Felicilda. But yeah, ang ganda ng analysis actually ni Gab. I thought that, actually maganda yung comment. I thought that the Maroon 5, let's call them the Maroon 5, really did not perform up to par today. Si Abadiano was hot to start the game but couldn't really have a good second half. The other guys, Alarcon, I mean, we've said this so much in the podcast for 3 years already. Diba? I think I even said in one of our episodes recently that he's finally consistently good and now he shows out to play a stinker. I think he had a stinker this game. Last game, he was able to do a lot of stuff better. Diba? I said that he was a better facilitator at the very least. He was able to get 5 steals. This game, he was 2 for 9. He had 5 turnovers. I mean, this is such a bad way to exit from the UAAP. Alarcon has been so important to this UP program from the start. Even nung rookie pa lang siya, he was hitting big shots for UP, and it's sad to see him and this UAP career like this. And I have to agree with Gab. I would say Remogat was the only one who kept them in the game, and maybe Noruka. Noruka was pretty good on both ends of the floor. His usual dominant
The whole
self.
finals, actually.
And I think may nag-comment, Noruko is gonna be scary for 4 years. And I think, yes, he will. I just don't know if maybe UP has different strategies. Maybe they don't go with Noruka, which I think would be idiotic if they do.
A huge mistake.
They have a one and done FSA coming up. I think Noruka's earned the right to play for this UP team. You can see naman his emotions. You can see how invested he is in the game. And without him today, I really thought that he would have won the finals MVP of this game if they were able to pull through. He was probably the most consistent among all of them during the 3 games. And actually, I would say UP really missed yung services ni JD Kagulangan in this game, especially in the fourth quarter. UP has so many veteran guards, but they did not have any composure no fourth quarter. I thought that Remogat was all over the place. Alarcon and Abadiano should have controlled the tempo of the game. Should have maybe controlled Remogat. Remogat was playing nung fourth quarter parang hindi game 3 ng finals. Diba? With all of those, I guess you get that, you buy that with Remogat. You buy that he's flashy at times, but there are certain points in a championship team that you really have to be composed, especially if you're the point guard. And I thought he was too flashy. He was looking for a big play too much nung second half. I thought that si Torres was forcing shots up. There were certain portions of despite being the third leading scorer, it was a -13, and I think it's because there was certain parts of the game I thought he was disrupting the offense. I was looking at Coach Gold, yung reaction ni Coach Gold, and looked like that he wasn't listening dun sa play. He was doing one-on-one instead of feeding the post. Si Gani Stevens or si Nuruka. And it looks like UP went back to what they were in the early part of the season. Diba? We always go back to that time when they were 0-2, when everybody was questioning, are they really the top contender? Just too many one-on-one basketball in the finals. I thought that in game 1, they went into to Alarcon too much. I thought that in game 2, it was a success because si Abadiano hit some crucial shots. And in game 3, they went to Rimoga too much, I think, nung latter part of the fourth quarter. Kudos to Coach Topex and the Lassal staff. They really rattled Rimogat with those half-court traps. I think one of them even, si Mason Amos was yung nag-show, and Jacob Cortez and him was able to force a turnover. Really good adjustments by Coach Topex. And I point back to a quote he said, I think, in game 2 or sometime in the finals. The first team that will take a gamble will win this finals. And he did gamble with this lineup today, going with a 3 big lineup. I love how si Pablo and Amos were able to play 3 and 4 interchangeably. Pablo 3 on defense, Amos floor spacer 3 on offense, and also as a back to the basket guy, Pablo driving to the basket on some mismatches. Ganda. Ang ganda kasi you really see the development of a guy like Pablo. We always talk about si Mason, nasasayangan tayo, and today he showed out, especially on the defensive end. Very crucial blocks, I would say. I think yung 3 blocks ni Mason could have been easy baskets for UP, and we have to give credit, di ba? I think si Mason was the solution to the zone also of UP. He was a floor spacer. There's a reason why he started the game out instead of Pablo this game. He was there to play to space the floor, and I love yung ano niya. Maybe one of the few games that I've seen si Mason really vocal on both ends of the floor. I was looking at yung ano niya kasi mannerism niya, because I haven't liked how he has performed in some games, but today he really came out. You can see he was pointing where to go both on offense and defense sa teammates na sometimes don't get the play, and at least some sort of we see some sort of development really of Mason as a leader also for Lassal, because next season he will be the senior for Lassal, di ba? So that's a very good sign. I thought that we pretty head on calling out Boris Marasigan and Abadam, the wing players of Lassal, will be crucial in the finals, and they were. Marasigan could have been the hero last game. I could say that he is the hero of today's game. They were able to get back the lead because of his 5-point personal 5-0 run. I thought that si Abadam was aggressive all throughout the game on both ends of the floor. Even when he wasn't hot, he was willing to take that shot. Diba? I love the development. I love how Coach Topex has really empowered yung players. I think that's what really led to this Lassal title, in my opinion. Players like Pablo, Abadam, I mean Marasigan. Who was Marasigan, diba? In during the preseason, who was Marasigan during the first round, diba? I mean, these guys are empowered by Coach Topex.
Ito yung benefits nung injuries, Maui.
This was really the benefit of losing those key guys. And I have to commend also si Kian Baclan and si Mason Amos, diba? They had to take a step back, and you don't see them complaining. They wanted to win. They went to Lassal to win the championship, and despite getting roles that they probably did not expect, they fought. Diba? Mason fought and still played to his best. Diba? He didn't need a lot of shots to be effective. I think that's something that we need to see from Amos kasi. Diba? We need to see him being effective without really affecting the game, without needing those touches. And si Baclan, diba? Baclan is so used to shooting, being the leading scorer, being the guy that shoots 10 to 15 shots, and you can just see yung adjustments, diba? I mean, the trust in these guys, and it paid off. I thought that si Marasigan is the unsung hero of Lassal. He is probably, I think we roller coaster Marasigan. Diba? We said this.
Yep.
His nickname is probably roller coaster Marasigan, because the highs and low are so much. And I thought that today he was pretty crucial. And kakaiba kasi off the court you can see yung post-game interview niya kay Boom. He's just a soft-spoken guy, very quiet, and you wouldn't expect that from a guy who's so rowdy on the court, di ba? You, always taunting, always getting that hard fouls, and kudos to him for still playing this way despite being quote unquote the reason why they lost, probably they lost game 2. And really yun, I thought that the better team really won the finals. I think that has to be said. UP played too much one-on-one in the finals, and I thought that maybe they relied too much on their individual talent, other than Lassal. Also, one other note, I think si Mike Phillips really deserves a lot of credit. This type of usage and only 5 fouls drawn was a positive today, because he did not force himself to the basket and draw fouls. Instead, he showed the skill that we didn't know he had. That jump hook, that mid-range hook was really pivotal in today's game, especially keeping them in the game no first half.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to say, like, I agree with the Mason and Baklaan comments. I think marami nang nagko-comment kanina even at the very start of the episode.
I think
Very
those were our keys to success in game 2, Sammy. Tayong dalawa. Sabi natin they have to get more from Amos and Baklaan.
and Baklaan.
Well, it can't just be full of Cortez, yung Cortez action and Cortez with the ball, because that's what they were doing for most of game 2. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think ikaw sinabi mo na yun before the start of the finals, diba? Yung others, which team will have other people showing up? And I think for this game, it was really Lassal. So we can list down all the guys, but I think for me, the first two that needs to be mentioned is really Mason and Baklaan. I think marami nang nag-comment how poetic it was for these two guys to really help seal the win, the championship, with those 4 crucial free throws each. I think I counted Lassal took like 14 free throws in the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. Mason and Baklaan each had 4. So basically more than half of the free throws that they took, si Mason tsaka si Kian Baklaan yung tumira. These guys were not even supposed to be here. Diba? I don't think anyone would blame them if they said, I don't want to play in the finals kasi may MCL ako. I don't want to risk it. I want to save myself for next year. I wouldn't blame them. We all thought that they were going to be out for the season. But suddenly, narinig na natin, they're progressing faster than usual. Baka they can make it to the end of the season or to the playoffs. They did, and they looked horrible at the very start. Mason, lalo na Mason, di ba, people were very hard on Mason even nung game 2 and game 1, but I think this was Mason's best game. He showed up. You guys mentioned yung blocks niya. I think nung nakita ni Nuruka si Mason, sabi niya, okay, kaya ko to one-on-one. Spun around him pero Mason blocked him. Sabi ni Willie Wilson, who says Mason can't play any defense? So I love that comment from Willie Wilson. He also had that yung scramble na yon nung last 1 minute. If I could just do the play-by-play there, it started with Mason. I think Mau, you guys mentioned it kanina. They trapped Remogat dun sa may half court, which forced Remogat to throw the ball. Si Makalalag stole the ball. And then si Jacob went down. I think it was Abadiano who tipped it. Nakuha ni Remogat. Remogat went in for the layup. Last 1 minute to, This all happened in the last 1 minute. Remogat went in the layup. Mike Phillips blocked the shot. Nakuha ni Alarcon. Alarcon got an open 3. Wide open. Game winner. It looked, if you guys remember yung 3 ni Alarcon against Ateneo nung season 86 or 85 na, it looked like that. So akala ko papasok na. Missed the wide open 3. Nakuha pa ni Gani Stevens to put it back. And who was there to block it? Mason Amos. That was his other block. He had 3 blocks, but I think yun yung one of the most important ones. He blocked it and got the ball, gave it to Cortez. Cortez threw it to Makalalag for the fast break layup. So Mason, we were hard on him for not playing defense, but he won this game. He helped seal this game with his free throws, which Lassal needed every single free throw, and yung defense niya, the blocks, especially the blocks on that end. Another thing with Mason, I think Mason had 4 assists in this game. And mapapansin nyo, yung assist na yon, I think most of them came from like swing plays where it goes to Mason on the outside. So I remember may isa na it went to him and then he swung it to Jacob Cortez for a 3 or I think stepping. I forget kung 3 or stepping ba yon. And then may isa, he went out to him again sa may 3-point line, swung it to Abadam. Dun si Abadam nag-fake kay Nuruka and then went in for that crazy dunk. That also came from a Mason Amos.
Where the hell did that dunk come from?
Diba? I was so shocked. I was like,
Every Lasallian in my section was thinking,
Dapat tayo
"What?
lahat.
Sino yung nag-dunk?
I didn't know he could dunk. Even ako, but what the hell? Where did that come from?"
Yeah, so shout out to Earl Abadam. I didn't know he could do that. And then the last one that I remember that came from Mason then, from the 3-point line, he swung it to Marisigan. Marisigan faked and then hit that mid-range nung like 250 or something like that. So those were plays that Mason also assisted on. So I think for all the trash talk that we said to Mason, shout out to him. He's a champion now. He has redeemed himself sa Lassal. This is why he went to Lassal. He wanted to win a championship daw. Better chance to win a championship. So, congrats to Mason Amos. And to Kian Baklaan. Didn't score a ton today, but I think really efficient. I think wala siyang turnover and he had the highest plus-minus sa game na to. He had plus 19 and the 4 crucial free throws.
Wow.
So, plus
Wow.
19, Kian Baklaan. So I think Lassal wouldn't be here without those two guys. I think dun sa comment section, we talked a lot about Boris Marasigan redeeming himself. The other guy that the people are talking about sa comment section, si Luis Pablo. Since game 1, since nung round 1 against UP, this guy has been really good against UP. I think they also accidentally discovered one of their best defenders, perimeter defenders, si Luis Pablo. I think in this game, he was
UP
assigned...
is having a bit of FOMO right now for Luis Pablo because he has terrorized them for 5 games this season.
That's true.
Sean Alter, baka naman, bro. 3 season ka na nagluluksa dyan sa bench ng UP.
Hindi, tsaka diba, I just have to say, diba, we've always said, what's the weakest link in the UP lineup since the preseason? The power forward slot that's Luis Pablo's position. So the irony.
Yeah. Daming nawala. So I want to see where Luis Pablo will be like next season kasi he's so good and wala pa nga siyang tira eh. I think that's something that he needs to work on, yung shooting niya maybe and also free throws niya. But shout out to him today kasi he didn't score that much, I think. I forget. But he was defending Alarcon Abadiano for most of the game. I think whoever was there. Kasi nag-3 big lineup sila eh, diba? So he really had to guard like a wing. And Alarcon and Abadiano didn't have their best games then. So shout out to Luis Pablo. I think he was huge also in Game 3. The whole finals, but especially in Game 3 then. Any other notes that you guys wanna talk about? Siguro sa UP side, Gab?
Raynon Torres, I thought played well. Except for those turnovers when Alarcon
Actually, si Raynon Torres yung parang roller coaster today. He was really good nung first quarter, di ba? Parang
nung first quarter, he attacked Mason a couple of times. I'll get to Mason later. But si Raynon Torres, I thought played really well. Gave UP a chance in the end game. Hit that 3, I think to call it to 4. So within striking distance with around 30 seconds left. So shout out to Raylan, not giving up. And the play was not meant for him. It just he was the open guy. So he hit it. So kudos to him for coming off the bench. Other than that, Jacob Baila, I think, was neutralized defensively, again, by the strategy of Coach Topex Robinson, essentially not involving Jacob Cortez in the offense at all. And since Jacob Baila was not leaving Jacob Cortez, it was wide open for Mike Phillips. There was no additional help defense. Diba? Yung play nila yung pin down for Mike, there was no additional man from the weak side to help because Jacob Baila was not leaving Jacob Cortez. So it put Coach Gold in a conundrum. Again, I just think Coach Topex out-coached Coach Gold, bar none, all throughout. I just think it was a coaching masterclass, I would say, from the whole coaching staff, from their defensive schemes up to their offensive adjustments. Ang ganda. On Mason Amos, some people will say, "Oh, you just hate on Mason Amos because you're from Ateneo. Get over yourselves." Parang, no, that's not why we criticize Mason Amos. And the same criticisms we had of Mason Amos right now were the same when he was with Ateneo. So it's not that we're biased against Mason Amos. We have been saying the same things, the same thing since when he was playing for the blue and white. So I don't get that argument at all. But yeah, great game by Mason Amos. I was surprised he was starting. And from the way they played against the zone, I knew why they were starting. Because they wanted to get that pin down to Mike Phillips. They wanted to get Mason in the post just to attract that additional defender out of the paint. Great game. I think hit 1-3. Hit 1-3. You got a hook shot over Belmonte also. Yung over Torres. Yung had a foot back. Yeah, in one of the first baskets of the game, and hit free throws. Once again, tawan-tawa ako talaga yung si Luis Pablo was on the floor. Sobrang halata that they were just trying to get a better free throw shooter in the game. Even the Lassalians behind me were like, "Oy, ayaw lang niya mag-shoot ng free throw." Tinan mo. Sakto talaga.
I think ayaw they did that with Marasigan din nung game 1, if I remember. Or game 2 ba yun?
I think so. Yeah. I think when they carried him off the floor, diba, yung binuhat nila.
Yeah.
Tumatawa pa sila nun.
Tumatawa pa sila because I think si Kian yung went back to the game, or si Jacob to...
Yes, si Baklaan.
To take the 2 free throws. So, grabe yung acting job ni Luis Pablo eh. So, again, on Mason Amos, the post defense has never been the problem. He was a great post defense here. I think he had a block on Noruka. He had that block on Stevens. He had another block. I forgot which one was his third block. Yeah, he had another block. He grabbed some key rebounds also. And again, those key assists on ball rotation, Sammy, as you pointed out. And hitting free throws against the UP crowd. Remember, they
ganda nun.
In the second half.
This is why you get that guy.
Yep.
This is why you got this guy.
Yep,
it's a big shot maker.
Each team was shooting against the opposing crowd, and you could see the wall of maroon and the wall of green just cheering against each free throw shooter.
Ganda.
I think it kind of affected si Marasigan when he missed those 2 free throws. Yun Mogat when he missed the free throw off his 4-point play. Galing. I have to give shout out to Mason. He played well, and I think nanood siya ng Boleros. Kumain ako ng favorite food niya, tinola tonight, just to commemorate his good game. Hindi niyo alam.
Grabe yung
watch our interview with Mason. He did say tinola ang favorite niyang Filipino food.
May plug.
Na-plug pa yung episode natin with Mason.
Oh, why not? Buhayin yun. Yung just to show, we don't hate the guy. we say hi to the guy. We like him. So, si Kian Baclaan, great minutes off the bench. Had that layup against Remogat. Again, they
His only
still
basket.
targeted. Yeah, his only basket. They still targeted Remogat. The
Good
Phillips
point. Yeah.
put back over a Manasigan missed shot was Noy Remogat allowing him a
Yeah.
free drive to the basket.
Yeah.
So, yes, Remogat is still a cone on the defensive end, but what you loved about him is he was giving it on the offensive end. So, you know, you might play bad defense, but if you score on the other end, basically you might nullify or you could even outscore the points you give up on the defensive end. Si Mason was not that in games 1 and 2, and that's why we criticize him. He was better today. Si Remogat was not that in game 1, but he was better today. Yes, he gave up some baskets, but he was able to score in the offensive end. Big threes, yung big baskets, I thought si Noy talaga yung came out to play. I don't want UP fans to blame him because maybe kind of for choking in the end game, but again, they would not have been in that position
True.
if not for Noy
Definitely.
Remogat playing who he did.
Definitely.
So, what else? Yun lang. Sammy, Maui, anything else?
I think
Yeah,
ano lang.
yes.
Yeah, go Maui.
Yeah, I just want to add kay Remogat, di ba? We always talk about the point guard slot on Boleros and it being the hardest position to really transition, di ba? Remogat did not have this type of pressure when he was in UE. This is growing pains for a guy like Remogat. He will have to be more composed. He will have to play a different style of basketball, especially pag dying fourth quarter na game 3 ng finals. He has to be more composed as the point guard of this team. I think a lot of people don't remember guys like Belangel, guys like Padrigao, who were top point guards. Si Belangel, sa guard who got to the D-League, even Kagulangan. These guys had to struggle first, di ba, before they got here. Si Remogat was spectacular today. Maybe if you don't add yung last 5 minutes, and I think that it's one of the reasons why UP prioritized really tailor-fitting yung offense nila around Remogat, and that was a turnaround of their season. So let's see where it goes.
Ako, I just wanted to talk about then si Coach Topex. Gabby talked about how he outcoached Coach Gold today. Ang ganda din nung picture Maui na sinend mo, 'di ba? Kasi I was telling you guys during the awarding, he was being awarded as the best coach of coach of the season or something like that. Hindi nila mahanap si Coach Topex. So it took a while and then eventually yung assistant coaches na lang yung tumanggap ng award, and I think Maui, you sent the photo. He was just crying by himself dun after the game. I think that's how much siguro emotional, how much of an emotional roller coaster this game was for him. Remember guys,
Imagine all the things he's been through.
Exactly. Some people were saying na baka dapat ma-fire na siya
Yung
at the start of the season.
mental and
diba?
emotional toll, diba, of the season was grabe.
People were doubting him, saying na he should get fired if Lassal doesn't make it to the finals or something like that. It's been a very difficult journey for Coach Topex and for Lassal. They were number 4. Hindi naman talent-wise magaling sila, but after all the injuries that they went through, it was a difficult journey for Lassal to get here to the championship. So which I think makes it sweeter versus like their previous championship. Next year UE revenge season. Anything else?
Just some other notes. This is only the second time, I think, in the Final Four era that a 4th seed has won the championship after the season 77 NU Bulldogs.
NU.
Of course, we remember that, boys, because particularly painful for us. Alfred Aroga, blocking Kiefer Ravena in Game 2 of the Final Four when Ateneo was the number 1 seed. So, yeah, we remember that pretty clearly. And congrats to Lassal. I mean, not every day that the number 4 seed gets the championship. Heck, even a number 3 seed doesn't win the championship that often. So, amazing run. Perfect timing din eh. Kasi I think you someone asked it, when did the Lassal turnaround start? I do think when Jacob Cortez finally got back into this group, which was ironically or perfectly against the Ateneo Blue Eagles. When he finally got out of his slump. Remember, he slumped for the Lasalle's previous 1-point losses to Adamson and FEU. Got out of his slump in a big way against Adamson, and he's been on cruise control ever since. They didn't have a big game here, but I don't think they needed him to be honest. I think
Super Saiyan na, bro.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan na pagdating ng Final Four.
That was what Coach Topex did. Did not rely a lot on Jacob. I called him out for it. I called Lassal out for it. They were relying too much on Jacob Cortez for offense. And for this game, they barely did. Except a bit nung 4 shots nung endgame when Alarcon was defending him. But otherwise, they depended a lot on their other guys. Phillips, most especially, Marasigan, Abadam even. So, it was a good end to a season for the DLSU Green Archers. Went through a lot. I think you can make a movie of this Lassal season, especially with all the injuries they went through, the tough losses, then going in as a number 4 seed, having to beat Ateneo, having to beat NU twice, and now prevailing in games 1 and 3 against the UP Fighting Maroons, the defending champions. Magaling. As for UP, there's still a force to be reckoned with. Whoever's saying that UP is rebuilding next season, what a joke! What?
Remoga, Turuka, DJ Pre is coming.
Come on.
DJ
Baila.
Pre, Rainier Maga, Russell Ogana, this Deontay Miles. Payosing, yeah. Si Deontay Miles, who I don't know if he's gonna play over Noruka. I mean, there are 2 FSAs allowed, but only one can play per game. With how well Noruka played, are you really gonna set him out for games?
Noruka is a lock dun sa isang slump, for sure.
I think this is the same argument we've been having by Mo Konate in FEU. Really, Coach Sean Chambers, you are going to bench Mo Konate in favor of Shelton after Mo Konate made the Mythical 5? I think UP is gonna have the same argument here. Are you really going to bench Noruka for some games in favor of Deontay Miles with how well Noruka played? I think that would be a big mistake. Ano ba? Yun lang. For UP, I don't want to point some fingers. They still played well in this game. I do think they needed to adjust more. This was not one of Coach Gold's finer moments. I already mentioned Alarcon. Scary Jerry was not Scary Jerry tonight, unfortunately. But it was still, I think, a pretty solid season after starting 0-2. People were panicking. We said, it's just 2 games. They still have times to they still have time to get things back on track. So I think it's a pretty good season. They made their 5th straight finals. I don't think you're gonna be well. You expected championship
to win the championship naman.
Yeah.
Yep. So will we do yung Ballers and Boleros for season? Of course we will.
Yes,
of course we will.
Definitely.
Pero NBA muna, may NBA episode kami in a couple of days. Watch out for that.
Yeah.
Abangan nyo yun. This week din. Any final words, Maui? End of an era, Maroon 5?
Maroon 4+1. Yung just to correct you. Shout out to Jan Felisilva.
End of an era. No, I don't think it's an end of an era when it comes to UP, di ba? I mean, the real driving guys naman are si Coach Gold and to a certain degree si Bo Perasol. Di ba? He's always been a good recruiter. And with all the resources that they have, it's just crazy to say that they're gonna be on a rebuilding year. Di ba? Just imagine the players that I've lost. They still make the finals almost every year. Not almost, every year. They make the finals every year. So I don't think UP fans have anything to be worried about. Di ba? We'll probably know more come January. Who knows? Maybe si Andy Hemao, diba? There are memes going out na to send him home. Bring him home, like si Tatay Digong. I don't know. But I'm sure UP. Diba? Si Andy Hemao, bringing home daw. But yeah, kidding aside, UP has a very good recruiting class coming in. Remember, they're gonna get VJ Pre. Everybody's forgetting how good VJ Pre was a season. I mean, he's in the SEA Games lineup. Come on, diba? He's that good. So UP is not rebuilding, definitely. But I don't know if they're a championship contender for next season. As a fan of the UAAP, as a fan of the Blue Eagles, I hope that we get a new set of teams in the finals next season. But who knows? Maybe we get 4 straight Lassal versus UP. This Lassal team is still a powerhouse. Despite losing Phillips, I'm sure they will recruit a good FSA. Diba, they already have recruited FSAs right now. A couple. I think si Agunane is coming back. So he could be one of the options. I don't know if they will be able to fill the void left by Mike. One thing's for sure, I know si Pablo will be better next season. I know si Mason is probably gonna be better. Guys like Marasigan, Abadam, Guliena, Dungo, and the other recruits. We haven't even seen Mikey Cortez, who they say is a better shooter than Jacob. So these two teams are definitely still in the running come season 89. But my hope is sana magkatotoo yung pagkada-profit ko next season. Iba naman ang finals. But who knows?
Okay.
Before we end, Sammy, yung may nag-request eh. Lassal is back!
Yun! Lassal is back. Wala nang Jinx champion na. So, pwede na sabihin yung Lassal is back. That's it for today's episode. Thank you to all the 500 plus listeners joining us live kahit na it's 11 p.m. I'm sure pagod na kayo from watching on a weekday. I'm sure pagod na kayo from watching the UAAP. But we do appreciate you guys listening in. That's it for today's episode. Congrats once again to the DLSU Green Archers and congrats to UP for making it to the finals. Please stay tuned. Na-mention ni Gab, we will have an NBA podcast soon this week. So please abangan nyo yun. Watch
mga
that.
post-season stuff natin sa amin. Marami tayong post-season stuff.
Yes. And kahit tapos na yung UAAP, OG Boleros listeners know, hindi pa tapos ang Boleros podcasts natin. We'll have a ton of post-season content talking about the UAAP or maybe Sanbeda potentially joining the UAAP. Merong nag-comment
that would be crazy.
News about that.
That would be an emergency pod episode.
Emergency podcast yun, guys. So please stay tuned. If you haven't yet, please like this video to support us. Comment your thoughts. Share with your friends. Subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Good night.